Wisdom versus Misery was written after a trip I took home to see some friends and family, and I saw that people's perspectives had seemed to change a little bit since the last time I spent time with them. Some people had a worse outlook on things, and maybe that was because some of them had gotten older. And so the title sort of came from, the phrase, with age comes wisdom. And well, the idea that maybe with age comes misery. And so weighing the balance between wisdom versus misery.
I remember when we were recording this, the a cappella intro took so many takes to record because I insisted on doing it just right. In the end, I ended up having to compromise a little bit because I was just pushing myself a little bit too hard. But this was one of those cases where having voice lessons and vocal training really elevated the whole experience for me because I just don't think I would have been able to pull any of that off otherwise.
Wisdom vs. Misery was one of my first times recording vocals with like a set melody rather than just being a gang shout. That was a really interesting thing to figure out. And I think my part didn't exist until we got to recording. I showed up to the studio and Devin was like, "Hey, you're gonna sing this now?" I'm like, "Okay." And that was a fun new thing to do for this record.
I got sent the album, and then to press play and hear this for the first time, hearing these multi-part vocal harmonies, my first thoughts were Beach Boys, but that was wrong. It was Wonder Years. The Beach Boys were not the reference point. That's what it made me think of, the opening of Smile.
And one of the things that I'm most proud of about this album is there's no pitch correction or vocal processing on the vocals at all. There's processing, no pitch correction. We all, Jordan, Alex, and I sang every note, and we sang them all until we got them.
This one has a really finicky bridge. It's got a really interesting flow to it. And I remember it being one of the things we worked on the hardest, I think, in rehearsal. So I remember it taking a minute to get right in recording as well.
The bit before the second chorus, sort of a call and response thing going on the guitars. I just connected with that right away. Everyone else was kind of figuring out what the timing of everything was, and I was just like, we just gotta do it. Just do it, guys.
It was one of the moments where I decided I think I'm gonna use a pick sometimes because I really felt like that song benefited from having just a little extra attack from a pick. And it also really helped for the bridge with that one needly little bit that Devin wrote for me.
I call it the Midwest emo part, where there's sort of this call and response thing, and I remember when Dylan was learning it, the way that he added this hi-hat part in, and everything, just the way that syncs up live is really, really excellent. It just feels great to play.
As a guy who primarily comes to music for from the prog side of things, hearing all these different parts, especially the bridge part, the paradiddle. That was really that's kind of an attention grabbing thing. And I mean, the song has a lot of parts, but it flows very nicely, and it's just a really great way to open a record.
There's lots of parts that groove really hard, but also actually I remember very vividly the little cymbal part that leads into the outro, I should say. That part reminds me of Halloween, like the holiday. And I really like playing it every time, and I remember really enjoying it while recording as well.
The end of the song, the outro, where nobody's singing anymore, everyone just goes into it, and we can go hard, and we all turn around, and we're like, "Hey!" And it's just so much fun.
The outro, when it gets super heavy, and Devin puts on the phaser, and we're just strumming these big chords, and the whole thing's slowed down, and it's just so great. A great way to end the song.